I sent an email out and I talked about the portion of the speech, or the theme of the speech is like questions that you may have of me. And I got 9 responses, so it's pretty good, you know, for 30-something in a group. Our first one from our mortgage broker and our UC Santa Barbara graduate, Kathleen Kramer. It says, our rain gutters are peeling. Now that oil-based paints are out of the picture, what do you recommend instead? Well, oil-based paints, you still can get them. They come in quarts now, and Dunn Edwards will sell it to you, and Sherwin-Williams will. There's a little bit on an interior oil-based paint at Home Depot. But for the most part, in California, they really, you know, the laws to combat the VOCs, the volatile organic compounds, have moved away from it. We've gone to water-based paint. So in your case, let's say you don't want to go back and use oil-based anymore. You want to sand it really good, get all that loose peeling paint off, get a quality primer, it, and then put a quality semi-gloss or an eggshell water-based paint on there. And it'll last a really long time because all the research, all the development has gone towards water bases, and they're really, really good. It's just there's this big thing that oil bases are a better paint, blah blah blah. Well, it's kind of all gone away, and they've taken out the good stuff of it anyway, so it's not really. Unless you want to drive to Arizona, you can drive to Arizona, and supposedly they got the good stuff. I'm not sure. We don't drive to Arizona. Okay, and our merchant service man, Chris Trout. He jumped in here with, I'd like to know what other services your company can offer besides traditional painting. Okay, well, starting, let's say, from the top, working on down, let's say on a ceiling, you get a hole in a ceiling, we can repair that hole, we can match those textures. We can take off acoustic coating and put whatever texture you want up there and prime and paint it. We can put crown molding in a room, we can put baseboards in a room. We don't like doing a whole house, but let's say someone's, had a contractor come in and remodel a specific room, but they didn't really think about the finish work so much, they just got it done. They don't like the baseboard that was like, to get the better price, it's real small, doesn't really add up. We can do those kind of things. And another question was brought to me was through Sherry Boone, our gift basket lady. What are the best kinds of inside paints that prevent fingerprints and scuffs from becoming permanent? Yeah, that is a grandmother's plot right there. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of like some neat faux painting, the 3-foot all the way along, all through the house. What you want is to move away from the flat, because flat paint hides imperfections the best, and it has a nice, great look, but they have a tendency to pick up dirt and hold smudges. And so you want to get something that has a little bit of a sheen to it. And so the sheens go like satin and low sheen and eggshell and semi-gloss and high gloss. Okay, so high gloss is like the best. You can really take a scrubby to it and really, clean it really good, but it just looks ridiculous in a hallway in your rooms. It's just too shiny. So you might want to move back on down and maybe 1 step up from flat or 2 steps up from flat, which is a satin or a low sheen, and you'll probably get better performance, especially in your hallways and those areas. But as you go up in sheens, it doesn't touch up as well. As you stay down in sheens, that's the beauty of flat, where if you still have that can of paint, you get smudge marks, or you can go in there and just go bam, bam, kind of feather it in, and it goes away. Whereas, a high gloss, where you touch it up, it's probably going to, we call it flashing, it's going to show up. So those are the yin and yang of that. From from Jim Duncan from A Mill Center, how do you make the paint color and placement suggestions, or do we go to a designer first? We have a method for selecting colors, and it's get your colors, get your little chips, put them all out, and then start throwing away the ones that you don't like. So you don't sit there and go back and go, oh, I like that, I like the name of that one, it reminds me of where I grew up in Connecticut, and all that. It goes out there, you're looking at the color. Want to look at the color. Okay, and then you pick 3 of those colors, And then go down and get these little samples, and they sell little samples now. They're like $3 to $5, and you put them up, and then you'll go, oh wow, I really like that one as a home run, and we can go forward from there. But then maybe you don't like any of them, but you've learned a little bit about when you see the chip, what you see, and then how it's going to go on the wall. So those are some things. A designer is really, really good. They can look at the chip and really see it. A good one is worth the money sometimes. But maybe you don't want to spend that money. Maybe you don't want to spend $100 to $300 on someone to tell you the colors. And sometimes they're a little bold. You know, they want you to go in a different direction. They push you in a direction that you don't want to do. Maybe you just want Swiss coffee all the way through your house, and you don't really care about accent walls and those kind of things. But both, we can help you with the colors. Not a problem. If you follow that method and you go through that exercise of getting the chips, getting the samples and putting them up, you'll have really good results, and we have a really high percentage of happy customers using that method. From Terry Termite, our exterminator, he came in with 2, but for time constraints, you only get 1 question. So. I'd like to learn what can be done to keep exterior paint from developing mold or mildew. I see this especially in areas of homes that don't get any sun. Well, what happens with mold and mildew, it develops from a moisture problem. So lots of times you're going to see that on a north-facing side of a home that has maybe grass up against it. There's a lot of water, a lot of watering going on. So, you know, if they could put in, you know, God forbid, you know, some concrete around the home there, that would be a really good thing. Occasionally treat it with bleach and wash it down. That would help. It's kind of like once it develops, it seems like it always kind of comes back, and it's a constant battle. Those are the 2 things. I don't know, make the sun bend around, you know, put a... minimizing moisture in those areas. Maybe a gutter system so that it doesn't drip. It's a really tough one. You know what I mean? You have to be tenacious. You have to kind of stay after it. From Gene Teagan, what is the best way to remove wallpaper? Don't remove it. Slash. Leave it right up there. You know, remember that rose pattern from Grandma and all that kind of stuff. Wallpaper is an enigma. It can just all of a sudden just come off. You know, you just go, just falls off. It's wonderful. But for the most part, it's tenacious. You've got to get really, really hot water, as hot as you can stand. Get some gloves on. You can buy a solution to put in there that'll help attack the glue. Use a garden sprayer, the ones that you spray, and spray it down, and then walk away. Go do something for 15 minutes. Try not to start scraping on it right away, because it's not. You got to let that chemical start working on that glue and breaking that glue down, and then come back and hit it again, and then start working on that, and hopefully it starts coming off, and you're not going to be damaging the wall. But most of the time there's going to be, you take off wallpaper, there's going to be some wall work. It might be just a little bit of minimum of patchwork and a little bit of texture. It could be, well, you know what, we're just going to get it off, and then we're going to skim it with drywall mud, and then we're going to retexture, and that's just the way it goes. But the best way to do it, we found, some people talk about get the steamer. I haven't had a lot of luck with steamers because they get heavy, and your head's and then this little machine over here, and it's just a pain in the butt. It's just get the hottest water you can, put it in that little Hudson sprayer, which keeps it warm. And that's the beauty of that, and then you spray it on there. And then that spray action actually is penetrating that paper a little bit, which gets down to the glue. So there you go. Okay, Sean Sloan. What does he do? He's our web developer of the group. Got a lot of, every week I get someone that wants to get a paint job from that website. It's awesome. Can you and your team patch exterior stucco and match the finish before painting? Absolutely. We do it all the time. Lots of times, especially under patio doors, north-facing areas where people are watering around their home. There is traditionally on an exterior repaint on a single-family residence, there's going to be some stucco damage. And we repair that, and we want to match the existing. You want to make it so that someone walks by, and then I go, oh, your painters were here, and they did a crappy job there. I mean, you just don't want that. You want the homeowner to go out and go, look, there was a giant hole there, and I can't even tell anymore. I mean, that's exactly what you want. And then you're going to get repeat business, and that's how it goes. And then, of course, then when you put that new stucco on, you want to prime that stucco, and then you put your 2 coats of paint on it, and which we always do. Some people go, how many coats do we use? We're always a 2-coat system, minimum, maybe 3. Terry Termite yesterday has got some beautiful dark blue walls and some, I don't know, mustard. What would you call that? It was ugly.
Mango.
Yeah, mango. That's being kind. Mango, okay. Baby crap. Baby crap. But that took 5 coats. We were just so happy with that. It was just a great time. A lot of fun. Eric Evans. I think he's an insurance guy.
Secret. Yeah, he does insurance.
A speech major. Did you catch that? A speech major? That's the first we've heard of that.
Who knew?
You spend more time
Speechify.
looking up quotes than working on LaTeX?
Someone's listening. Listening skill.
I'm sorry, what, Eric?
You know, and then another thing, I want to talk about the pens. Now I have to get a pen that has the fancy top on it so you can sign. You know, I have competition
Yeah, Mark
with his
named
pen.
you.
My pen's better. But I guess this is now a collector's item because this will be the last time this pen comes out. You're getting the last of the 500 that I got from Kathy Aliwalia. So I have a tip for you, so I'll get more pens. Okay, Eric Evans says, my family room is red semi-gloss and would like it to be painted a tan flat. What type of prep work do you do? Oh, we don't do anything. We just open up a can of paint and start painting, right? It's just, right? Because that's pretty much what you do. It's an easy business. You just open the can and you just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't cover anything.
That's right.
You don't want to cover anything.
About loaded paintbrushes.
And don't wear any clothes that you can get paint on because you're not going to spill, right?
Nice thick mat.
If you are painting, just put something on you don't mind getting paint on and then keep them, and those are your paint clothes. It's like you have gardening gloves, now you have painting clothes, always, because the paint will jump out of the can and get on you, guaranteed. And use a drop cloth, please. Just put anything, a piece of paper. No. Just
He's
hang
on a
in
roll,
there.
don't start.
I'm on a roll. But anyway, what we would do is we would, of course, pull back the furniture, we would sand the wall really fast, and then we would prime it with a primer, and then we would 2-coat it with a flat. Okay, and the last question from Guy Ballard, our resident diamond. I've been there many times. He's got mucho dollars from me. How often do you varnish a wood door? I would say every week.
Contract out to next week.
No, it's a varnish. Exterior wood doors are difficult, and I would put them on a year or 2-year term and do it even if it doesn't look like it needs it. Clean it. The best thing you can do for that door is once it gets done, every time you dust inside, you clean that door outside. You treat it like your inside furniture. You get a lot more performance out of it. And Angie, I will see you after the meeting and take your question personally. And thank you so much for all your business and happy painting. Thank you.